Big up, everybody. It's your boy, Mark at MUFC Fan. You know what it is, guys. Smash those likes and subscribe. Your boy is back again with more news and more updates. Just now, I did a stream live. I was on StreamYard. No audio was coming out. If you guys would be so kind, if you're in the chat, please let me know if you're hearing my audio now, because it will be very good if I'm actually being heard right now, because now I was on a roll before, and then I realized no one was hearing what I was saying. I'm back online now, guys, so it would be nice if you guys could, give your boy a little bit of an update to let me know if you can hear what I'm saying. Big up to all of you joining in the chat. Your boy is back again, and it's live, and you know what it is. Let's get in. Big up to Rick Mank in the building. Thank you, bro. Just now I was on a roll. So let's get the show started. Since you're here in the building, guys, let me bring it up. Let's talk about it because it's going to be very interesting. The next few hours are very critical for Man United. And I'm not talking about the DOF. I'm talking about what we are deciding to do. How are we going to go about the order of the transfer window? What is happening? So let's start and let's talk about the DOF, because you know what? Everyone wants to talk about it. There are lots of new options coming in right now. It's a lot of different possibilities that are going to be happening, and I wanted to make sure that everyone could really understand what is going on. Now, there's a lot of possibilities, and let's get right into it. The man of the moment in the middle of the center screen, there's possibility that we could be, revisiting, trying to bring him back to United, lure him away from Austria. There are reports going in that Man United, they sought after advice from Ralph Rangnick even after he was sacked. And this was through the Sir Jim Ineos era. And they got some advice from him and it worked well. Maybe they might be trying to bring him back in the club. No one knows. But there's also some news coming in that Dougie Freedman is the bookmaker's favorite. And as many feel that he has proven himself to be one of the best sporting directors in the Premier League during his time at Crystal Palace. It's going to be very interesting. He was a target before Dan Ashworth hiring. He has spoken with Alex Ferguson already. The former Palace and Scotland strikers returned to Selhurst Park as a sporting director in 2017. Under his guidance, Palace has signed the likes of Olise, Guehi, Eze, and spotted talent in the Championship and gave players a platform to shine in the top flight. Friedman was considered by Newcastle when Ashworth left in the summer, but they subsequently got Paul Mitchell. Now, guys, really interesting right now is the fact that this guy, and I'm not talking about Dan Ashworth, I'm actually talking about the guy in the picture next to him. And that guy is Andrea Berta. And if you guys haven't heard about him, he is an Italian former player and sporting director from a host of clubs. And he's made his claim to fame in Italy, in Spain, as a sporting director of Atletico Madrid. He's a former Ballon d'Or winner as well, and Berta has worked his way up as a sporting director from AC Capendello in 2002 to Atletico via Parma and Genoa. And he originally joined Atletico as a technical director, but then became the sporting director. He's already announced plans to leave the Madrid club at the end of the season. Where will his next adventure be? Guys, it's going to be very interesting. There's another Italian linked with Manchester United, and his name is Guintoli. Is a former sporting director of Carpi in the lower divisions. 6 seasons there, and he's earned 4 promotions with the scouting that he's done. He went to Napoli from there and assisted owner Aurelio De Laurentiis to sell players far above their true market value. And when I say that, they sold the likes of Gonzalo Higuain to Juventus for £75 million. £33 million for Kalidou Koulibaly to Chelsea. £21 million for Alan to Everton. These are some very good, astute business deals that has been done by this guy. He also spotted the gem in Kavica Kvaratskhelia that everyone is on the tip of their tongues would like to get, not only to Man United, but to the Premier League. The Georgian came from Dynamo Batumi for less than £8 million. Guintoli left at Napoli last summer to take on the same role at Juventus, and there are reports that, things are going not so swimmingly well between him and the new Juventus coach in Morata. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, guys. There's another Englishman in the role for the job as well, and his name is Lee Congerton. The former head of Chelsea scouting operations has headed up the recruitment teams at Sunderland, Celtic, and Leicester City. Congerton is now sporting director of Al Ahly in the Saudi Pro League after having previously worked in the same role at Atalanta, where he was responsible for the signing of Rasmus Højlund for 16.6 million and then selling him to United for 72 million pounds. That's a smart move from this guy. What's the really shocking and big note news that's coming in right now is that of Paolo Maldini being linked to the sporting director role at Manchester United. And of course, we know Paolo Maldini, the legendary centre-back, the stalwart, the one, the only, you know what I mean? The biggest guy in the back that we have ever seen. And for me, the best defender I've ever seen in my lifetime. AC Milan's record appearance maker with 902 games. Maldini is also the co-owner of Miami FC and was until recently Milan's technical director. After his second last summer, he became a candidate for the sporting director at Newcastle. A year later, once it became clear that Ashworth was heading to United. But we all know Paul Mitchell is in that role currently, so it's going to be interesting. There's also been some reports that we have been looking at Julian Ward at Liverpool, who's currently in a temporary role there. Let's see what happens, guys. But this has been the reports currently about sporting directors and possibilities so far this summer. Big up to you guys coming in. Big up to Ricka Mank in the building. And big up to you, GB, as well. Big up to Frankie. Glory, glory, Man United. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel and help make it grow. Help the community grow, guys. It's going to be a lovely one, a fun one, and a one you can enjoy. Everyone's here loves football. Whether you support Man United or not, come in, join the fun, have your say. There's going to be lots of call-in shows coming up. Big up to GB, Lindelof, Shaw, Rashford, Eriksson are all Gunners. 100%, my brother, 100%. And I can tell you that it's looking very bleak for some of those in the like that you have been speaking on. And let's get right into the player end of the transfer market, guys. And let's start with none other than the biggest name at Man United for the last 10 seasons. Manchester United's very own Marcus Rashford is on the transfer list, guys. And Manchester United are prepared to sell the player and are willing to listen to offers even in January. It's going to get very interesting. As you know, they're open to significant offers for the player. He's probably rated at £60 million by the club. But in all fairness, he has a gigantic salary in the terms of 300 plus K per week. So maybe the club might be open to listen to offers from somewhere in the region of 35 to 45 million pounds. You know that it's going to be pure profit. We did not buy this player. We produced him in the academy. But his form recently has not improved. For the last decade, he has been on the verge of being that player. But for the last 2 seasons, he has been on the verge of being what kind of player? No one knows. His form has been so up and down, and the status of the 24-year-old as a homegrown player, as one of the club's highest paid players, means his sale cannot be ruled out. Sky Sports are saying the exit will give United more room to maneuver in the transfer market, and United are planning an overhaul under Amorim, who arrives on Sporting Lisbon, and the Red Devils already spent 200 million on new signings in the summer, but have endured their worst start to a Premier League campaign in history since 1986. It was this week that announced Dan Ashworth has left his role as sporting director as well. Rashford could be the next big name to leave. He scored 7 goals in 23 appearances across all competition, guys, this season, but that has been unable to replicate the performances of a career-best 22-23 under Ten Hag, scoring 30 goals in all competitions during that campaign. He has netted just 15 since the start of last season. Paris Saint-Germain are among the long-term admirers for the player and could renew their interest. The French champions failed to sign a direct replacement for Kylian Mbappe last summer, while there are doubts over the future of Randal Kolo Muawani. He has not been performing well for the French Giants, and they are thinking about currently moving him on. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Marcus Rashford. Big up to you here in Pro, my bro. Hope you're well. I'll probably drop the link so you can come in and have your say at the end, bro. I just wanted to run through some of the other topics that we're heated right now, because as you know, it's big news that Marcus Rashford has been put on the transfer list. So, coming up next, guys, is the sporting midfielder, and it's none other than Morten Hummelen. And Morten Hummelen has shown it with his performances over the course of the season why he is one of the players on the top of Manchester United list. Early on this week, he has been voted Premier Liga midfielder of the month for November, ahead of Benfica's Frederick Nunes and Okun Koku. And if you know who Koku is, he's a very interesting midfielder. I would have liked to bring him to Manchester United. To be fair, Humeland, who was linked with Manchester United in the summer transfer window, was voted by the Premier League coaches as the standout midfielder last month. He started 3 games for Sporting in November, scored his first goal of the campaign in the 4-2 win over Braga, and the 25-year-old has started all but 3 matches in the Premier League this season. The only games he has missed were as a result of an ankle injury. He was named the Portuguese top flight in the team of the season last term and has continued his impressive form for Sporting this season so far. The arrival of Ruben Amorim at Old Trafford may reignite the Red Devils' interest, but his valuation could prove to be a hindrance. Humeland would improve Man United's midfield, that's for sure, guys, 100%. He's a defensive midfielder, but not only that, he's very combative, like Manuel Ugarte, but he has also very good, tidy ball ability. He's very neat on the ball. He can make good use of it as well. He carries it well, and he's recorded 2,167 progressive passes this term in the Premier League, which is miles ahead of Ugarte, who's registered 878 in the Premier League. Humeland also delivered 68 passes into the final third, while Ugarte only registered 20. Though the latter has played 1 fewer game. One notable flaw from the Red Devils matches under Amorim is the lack of a midfielder who can progress the ball, and Humeland would provide that solution. He's valued at 40 million euros, but he's close to 4 years left on his contract with Sporting, which could make him unaffordable for the Red Devils. Because as you know, they like to sell big. It might cost us somewhere in the region of 60 to 65 million pounds to get the player, and we're already looking at the likes of Victor Gyökeres. Another interesting news coming in right now is that the struggling PL outfit are braced for widespread interest amid their young attacking sensation as they place a £20.6 million valuation on the player. And yes, I am talking about Tyler Dibbling, guys. Tyler Dibbling is on the list of Manchester United. We have heard a lot of reports of our interest to sign the young talent, and he's just been placed on the list with a valuation by his club and is struggling. You know, Southampton are struggling in the Premier League this season and they might need some solutions. But we also need a solution, and this youngster has been providing a possible solution. As you can see, his performances, his consistency over the course of the season for Southampton. He's one of their most dangerous players so far this term. He's very, very good at progressing the ball, great at carrying, very good at putting crosses in, and he has a great shot on him. We've seen what he did to Diego Dalot, and he's been doing it to lots of different players and defenders in the league. This young sensation is definitely on the tip of all of the tongues of a lot of the top names in the Premier League, including Newcastle, West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur, Aston Villa, and Liverpool. Will United be the ones to register his name under their list? It's understandably that they are overtly reluctant to sanction Dibbling's exit in the coming years. He has progressed through the academy and transitioned seamlessly into the first team. But they may grow resigned to losing him to the longer their troubles continue. The Saints sit rock bottom of the division on 5 points, 8 away from safety, and having claimed only 1 win from their opening 15 matches while sustaining 12 defeats, it's not looking good for the Saints. And while he is their star talent, he's been hailed as brilliant and special by his manager, Russell Martin. I also think he's a very special talent. He's bagged his first ever senior goal in a 1-1 draw against Ipswich Town back in September, a match that also he won 8 duels and completed 3 out of his 4 dribbles attempted. He won 2 tackles and created 1 big chance. So we know that he can play that wing-back role. When you hear these stats, it might be interesting to see if Man United moves his player. £20 million is not a big deal. Maybe we can get the job done. Maybe we can use a make-way. Maybe there's some player in our squad that we can transfer to Southampton that will improve them, and they could give us Tyler Dibbling. Let's see how it goes. There's going to be lots of interesting developments coming into the transfer window. So guys, brace yourselves. Big up to you, fan. Hope you're well. There's a thing called transgress. I'm not anti any United player, but Rashford, his time is up. Unpopular opinion, Ahmad is grossly overrated considering we had players like CR7, Nani, and Giggs on the wings. Bro, I don't disagree there. Irfan, you're right. Dibbling is way better than Ahmad. Bro, Dibbling is very interesting. Southampton, throughout their history, like United, always rare good players. Liverpool has always targeted Southampton players. That's how Klopp survived the Premier League, VVD, and Sané. 100%, Irfan, 100% with that, what you're saying there. I definitely agree, and I think it's very interesting that you brought that up because I was thinking the same. Not only that, but there's the likes of the young talent in Sunderland that's called Chris Riggs that we are still looking at. Might be very interesting to see if United actually make a move on the player. But what's also very interesting, guys, is that there's some other interesting deals that could be done. And why I'm saying that is because I'm going to bring it up right now. Because one interesting factor, guys, is that, we have been hearing some reports about a senior defensive stalwart coming into the club. And currently, right now, AC Milan has set a €50 million price tag for Manchester United target, and I'm talking about Theo Hernandez. This is a player that I think we should have signed. Not only that, I think if we weren't going to sign this guy, maybe we should sign that guy in the summer who was available, Mario Hermoso, because they're both similar-esque type of players. They've got similar-esque type experience, but let's not get it twisted. Theo Hernandez is definitely the better player. He's definitely better going forward, can definitely play the wing-back role because he plays it every week at AC Milan, and he's very quick, dangerous on the attack, can cross as well, both-footed, interesting type of guy, very, very type of a leader. Hernandez is a transfer target for several top clubs headed into the summer with Manchester United, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid all courting the left back. So it's definitely going to be a difficult deal for the Reds to get done. But the thing is that the Reds have the advantage is that he can come in as a definite starter. Game time will not be an issue if Manchester United and Theo Hernandez were to strike a deal. He would probably come in as the starting left wing back. And Ruben Amorim has made the signing of a wing back his focus at Manchester United, with Luke Shaw and Terrell Malacia struggling with fitness issues over the last 18 months. Shaw's latest setback has seen efforts stepped up, and Hernandez is the leading target at Old Trafford, where the exit of sporting director Dan Ashworth was this week announced just 5 months after his arrival. United are not the only one pursuing him, as I mentioned before, and the 24/7 last summer is still remaining an interest to the German Giants as well. The German Giants consider Hernandez an ideal replacement for Alphonso Davies, whose contract in Bavaria expires in the summer. Now, this article has came out right before, but there are some news coming out right now that Jonathan Davies is in talks, and the talks are positive to renew his contract at Bayern Munich. So it could change in the next coming days. Bayern Munich could be announcing that Alphonso Davies has extended a new 4-year contract with an increase in salary. So let's see how it goes, guys, because the interesting news right now is that we are in pole position to get this player. And it's one of those interesting things where there's other interesting players that we could be looking at, but our focus right now is on Theo Hernandez, which says to me that we would like to get in a mix of experience along with youth talent. My wish list, says Rickamank, is Naipan, Dibbling, and Chris Riggs. That's not a bad wish list, my bro. I would like to, if I had to say I have a wish list, Dibbling would definitely be on it. I have Diomade as well. And of course, I'm going to place another player on that list because you know what? I do think we need a striker. And I would like to go in for Omar Mamouche from Eintracht Frankfurt. I know my buddy, big up to Leo, he's going to be mad at me, but I'm promoting us signing his player. And I'm telling you now, all the Frankfurt fans would be upset with me. Well, of course, I have a few friends who are. But you know what? Man United overall, they're going to have to hold it if we do get in for those players because they will definitely be interested and probably lured away by the huge majesty of Manchester United. That's a good wish list, 100%. Big up to you, Ricker, man. Kirkes instead. That's interesting. Kirkes is not a bad player, bro. Kirkes is a very interesting young talent. And I think it would do us well if we could get one of those left backs in because we definitely need to improve what we have right now. And, you know, everyone is looking at some amazing signings. You know, we could look at the likes of, you know, people, we need a striker. But if we look at the reality of this January transfer window, there might not be a possibility of us getting in Victor Gyökeres unless we are willing to pay £84 million or more. Now, we have a gentleman's agreement with Sporting not to go in for their players in January. So maybe if with that gentleman's agreement, maybe it leads to a possible more finite agreement that we could attack their players in the summer and maybe they will give us first preference on signing. You never know what could happen. But I would like to say if we do have a gentleman's agreement, we should be hard-pressed to honor that agreement and not try to do it differently. The interesting part is, guys, there's a lot of players that we could be looking at. There's also the striker that I've told you guys about, Omar Marmoush. He will be coming in probably for the region of £30 million. That's going to be a lot cheaper, half the price of Victor Gyökeres. He's 25 years old and he's very lethal. He's already at 24 GA this season, scoring 10 goals and having 14 assists. And that was up to stats that I recorded 2 weeks ago. So I can't tell you for the last 2 weeks because I really didn't watch some football. I've been dealing with the Christmas time other than watching Man United. Big up to you, bro. Well, maybe next time, man. Maybe next time when you have some time, bro. Always welcome. All of you are always welcome, bro. Dan Ashford was a fraud. He wanted an English coach. Howard Southgate is also said that he pushed for Branthwaite instead of Delit and Mazraoui. I would not dispute that because we all know where the talks were in the last few months and what was going on there. And to be fair, guys, I never really liked the idea of signing Dan Ashworth. Everyone, you know I said that many times on streams when we were talking about the signing. I just felt that he was too English-centric to be part of the team that was looking to be global. I felt like Omar Barada, the likes of Jason Wilcox, they're guys that have a more open stance, a more vibe of let's look here, let's look there, let's not just look English. And I mean, we are an English football club and we will always have a core of British players and that will always be imperative and important to our team and how we go forward. But at the same time, we should have the best English core. And we don't always develop the best players. Sometimes we might, but sometimes we might have to go elsewhere to get them. And when we add to that British core with the right mix of foreign talent, you know, like they once had Dwight York from Trinidad, maybe we could go back to Trinidad for a young player. You never know. A young Caribbean talent coming in might bring that vibe that we had around the 99. You never know, guys. There's also the South Americans, the Asian guys, you know, the African players as well. So you need a guy who's more responsible, who's more open-minded, who has a wider network, let's just say. You know, like the likes of a Christopher Vavell, or maybe, you know, like we were talking about a Ralph Ragnick, maybe even a Paolo Maldini. These guys have a more open mind to these things because this has been their track record. Their track record has not been solely based on one target group. So it's going to be interesting to see where we pivot to. But what I can say, guys, it's definitely a positive situation because you know what? You know, we want to work to the best. And sometimes in forming teams, there are going to be mistakes. And we did form a team in the structure sense, and that team needs to function well. And maybe he was not getting along with his teammates. So maybe the best thing to do is to get him out now and bring in someone who will work better with these guys. You want to have a seamless, you know, sort of transition, a seamless sort of interaction, especially when it's coming from the top. You want everyone to be pushing in the same direction. Big up to Rickamank. Amarim should start playing the youth. There's no future with some of these current players. 100%. Big up to Greeks United, my buddy. Big up to Jim Watkins in the building. Hope you're well. I'm good, bro. Greetings to you. Good afternoon. And I hope you're enjoying your day, buddy. Hopefully next year I will travel less. I've been away from home for 8 months. Bro, hopefully next year I might work more, but for 10 times the salary. But that's, you know, the only thing I would say, bro. I mean, that would be really nice because they did raise ticket prices at MUFC. So now it's going to be a little bit more expensive to go to games. I don't really agree with it. I mean, I feel a little bit frustrated by that because a lot of people are trying to justify the fact that they raised the prices because, oh, they need to fix problems that were made before them. But these are billionaires coming into a club that's one of the most profitable football clubs in Europe. We earn 2-3 times more than Arsenal on an average. Arsenal's have been now start earning a lot of money. We've been earning this type of money for years. When are these owners going to come out and spend some of their money from what in the product that they've been making millions and billions off of for years? They need to come out and do something. They can't put this cost all on the fans. I'm going to say it. They cannot put this all on the fans. And trying to put this on the fans is bad for me. I'm telling you now. I'm not agreeing with that. 100%. I'm against that stuff. You know what I mean? United must go back to buying the core talented English players like in the past. However, English clubs resist selling their players to United. They price us out of the possibilities. That's 100% true. But, maybe we can try getting them a little bit younger and take that chance. Of course, we have a talented academy as well. So we could try to develop them. We have a new sort of ethos coming in, building a brand new refurbishment academy. So we're going to have state-of-the-art stuff, top of the top tier training facilities in a few months. So maybe it's a good time to bring in some youth and go young. Maybe we try to get some of the young English talent a little bit younger and then bring them here and give them time. We have a coach that plays a lot of youngsters as well, so it bodes well. You know what I mean? It makes sense. You know what I mean? We can add some experienced players to the mix, but we could largely be a young team. I have no problem with that. Greek, big up to you, Greeks United. Mark, it's a sad day that we sacked Fan Ashworth. Why spend 20 plus millions after then 5 months to sack him? What organization does this? We are a disorganization. Well, we did spend £7 million to get this guy. It was not a deal that a lot of us was interested in, to be fair. And of course, like while I would say these things happen in business, in a period where we're doing cost-cutting processes, we're sacking 250 members of staff. This is bad. This is bad for business. This is a bad look on Manchester United. Not us, not the club itself, but on the owners, because this shows, maybe they were a little bit too gung-ho when they tried to get this guy, and it turns out to be the wrong decision that they made from the beginning. However, I would give them props saying that they curbed it early, they nipped it in the bud. I would have to say that, but at what cost? Rickamank, you're like me. I like Vavell. He's very well-rounded. Ashworth was very English-centric. 100%. 100%. You know what I mean? So it's going to be an interesting one to see what happens, guys. Remember, there's a lot of possibilities coming into the summer. Price is definitely going to be one of those things that can be an issue for us going through the January window because, of course, we did spend 200 million in the summer this summer, so we're going to have to balance the books a little bit. FFP is still there. We have to be sure about that. I definitely would be 100% supportive of bringing Ralph Rangnick back as DF if there's even a slim possibility that he would do it. If I have to double his salary, I'm promising you one thing, you would be mad. I'm doing it because this guy, he was about to get a list of players that included the likes of Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, Luis Diaz, as well as Caicedo, as well as this guy who's at Man City right now, Gavardiol. He was getting those 5 players for probably less than 60 million. Even Xavi Simons he was thinking of bringing. And remember, back when he asked for the 60 million, he said he had 5 players he was going to get for that money. So think about it, guys. We could have had those 5 players at United to this day. And we didn't listen to Ralph. We should have. Big up to ATS Travels on the building. Yeah, this one's on Ashford. And to be fair, ATS Travels, bro, I'm not too stressed about Ashford. I think this happens in business. Of course, we could be, look at Ineos a little bit of a side eye because they definitely hyped this guy up to be best in class. And certainly, after 5 months, it doesn't look like that. You know what I mean? Big up to Alex Adu in the building. Good afternoon and blessings to you and everyone in the chat. Big up to you, my brother. I hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying your day. If you haven't catched the stream from the beginning, guys, please check it out. I started the stream talking about the possibilities of possible DOFs coming in. Certainly, Ralph Rangnick is on the list. There's also the likes of Dougie Freeman, who's on the list as well. As you know, there's possibility that we might not be able to get the Dougie Freeman over the line. It might cost us. We never know, but he definitely was a possible candidate in the early days before Dan Ashworth actually came into the club. The front runner so far, that is all the reports are coming out from Italy right now, is Andrea Berta, former sporting director of Atletico Madrid, to be. And when I say to be, he's already handing in his resignation. He is leaving Atletico at the end of the season. He came from a small club in the lower leagues called AC Capendello of Serie B, and he came through Parma and Genoa to move on to Atletico Madrid as a technical director and soon sporting director, which has done an amazing job, as you can see, with the quality of players that they have at their club. There's also the likes of Lee Congerton, who is the former Chelsea scouting operations head of recruitment, and Sunderland, Celtic, Leicester City, among other teams that he was. He's now the sporting director at Al Ahly in the Saudi Pro League, but he worked at the same role previously at Atalanta, where he got Højlund for £16.6 million. just to bring an example, and sold him to United for £72 million. So it's very interesting. We have also been linked with Maldini as well. You know, Paul Mitchell, we already know he is at Newcastle currently. There's the temporary sporting director of Liverpool, Julian Ward, who's also being looked at as well. We know what he's capable of and what he has done. But then there's Ralph Ragnick. And guys, this is why I keep saying, if Ralph Ragnick is an option, then we have to do, at all costs, we must get this guy back. He knew everything. He had an answer for everything. He had a solution for our problems. And it was one of the first times I felt so comfortable. You know what I mean? Ashford was not a cash deal. There were agreements in place, and I'm of the opinion something surfaced which allowed United to part ways with Ashford. Definitely. Wherever you like or you don't like Ashford, that's another thing, but we should always do our due diligence before we make important decisions. 100%. And this is the only problem, and this is the only thing I'm looking at Ineos with right now. Their due diligence. They haven't done it well. And this is the thing. You know what I mean? There's a rumor that Diop might not be replaced by Ineos. Yes, we have been hearing that. Currently, in the role, what they plan to do temporarily is shift Jason Wilcox into the DOF role and shift Christopher Vavell into the sporting director's role. Let's see if that happens, because I'm not going to be too upset if that happens. I think Christopher Vavell is well-rounded. I think he could perform a better task, and he has Jason Wilcox there. They already work well together. You know what I mean? They are responsible for the likes of, you know, Kone and these young talents that we got in, as well as, you know, Barada does have his thing. He was responsible for Lenny Euro. So it might be interesting. Bring back Ragnick. He's an old man in a young man's body. 100%. Guys, it's going to be an interesting one. Don't forget to share it around. Smash your likes and subscribe. We'll be back later on tonight to talk about some other interesting developments. Maybe not transfer-centric, but we're going to be talking about the Premier League and what could happen, what is next for Man United as we look ahead. Because don't forget, on Thursday, we are away at Victoria Plzeň in the Czech Republic, and we need 3 points. So guys, while this is happening in the background, football is happening in the foreground. Stay tuned for more. It's been your boy Markin, MUFC fan. A pleasure to have all you guys joining me today. I did try a stream earlier on, but I was unable to be successful because StreamYard is having an audio problem. So guys, I hope you don't blame me for that. But if you have the time, please share it around, smash a like, leave your comments, leave your opinions in the comment section, whether it be the live or the non-live section. Please help the community grow. It's been your boy Markin. Have a great day to all of you joining. Big up to you guys, and thank you for sharing this time with me. Markin out. You know what it is, guys. Catch you guys later on.